corollary 3, which is nothing but Euler's theorem. But before that, let us try to know the definition of Euler's phi function. Euler's phi function. See, the definition of Euler's phi function is this: for all positive integers n greater than 1, Euler's phi function definition of this is this: Euler's phi function. See here, the definition is like this: for all positive integer n, for all positive integer n greater than 1, Euler's phi function, Euler's phi function is defined as phi n is equal to phi n is number of positive integers, less than or equal to n and relatively prime to n, This is the definition. And with this, I have to note one point. It is phi of 1. Euler's phi function of 1 is always equal to 1. Phi of 1 is equal to 1. And as an example, what is phi of 8? Phi of 8. Yes, you please see the definition once again here. Definition of Euler's phi function. For all positive integer n greater than 1, Euler's phi function is denoted by phi n, and it is defined as phi n is equal to number of positive integers less than or equal to n and relatively prime to n. Relatively prime to n here. Okay. Yes. And he did this. We have noted phi of 1 is equal to 1. Then what is phi of 8? Yes, the number of positive integers less than or equal to 8 and relatively prime to 8. Relatively prime or co-prime means the greatest the greatest common divisor, GCD between them is equal to 1. Okay. Yes. What is about 1, 8? 1, 8. 1, 8. The greatest common divisor is always denoted in this fashion. 1, 8 is equal to 1. Next, 3, 8 is equal to 1 and 5, 8 is equal to 1 and 7, 8 is equal to 1. So, 1, 3, 5, 7 are all positive integers less than or equal to 8 and they are relatively prime to 8. What is the number here? The number of these numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7 are relatively prime to 8 here and their number is 4. Therefore, phi of 8 is equal to 4. Yes, since 1, 3, 5, 7 are relatively prime to it, relatively prime to it. Yes, like this you can find the Euler's phi function of any figure here. And with this, let us now go for Euler's theorem here. Yes, let's go to the theorem which is known as Euler's theorem. The statement of Euler's theorem is this. This you can take as corollary 3 here. Corollary 3, which is nothing but if n is a positive integer, if n is a positive integer and a is relatively prime to n, a is relatively prime to n, that is the greatest common divisor between a and n is equal to 1. Then prove that a to the power 5, then prove that a to the power 5n, a to the power 5 of n is congruent to 1 mod n. An important result. Say, what is the statement? If n is a positive integer and a is relatively prime to n, that is a and n, a comma n is equal to 1, means the greatest common divisor between a and n is equal to 1. Then I wanted to prove this result. A to the power 5n is congruent to 1 mod n. Yes, we know one thing. The set of all positive integers which are relatively prime to n form a group. The set of, please go through my words. The set of all positive integers relatively prime to n form a group. Say that group we shall call it as a G. Let G be a group consisting of all the positive integers which are relatively prime to n. Then what would be the order of the group G then? I mean, what is the number of elements present in that group? There are 5n in number. If by the very definition of itself, if n is and the number of integers relatively prime to n, they are 5n. It is nothing but the Euler's phi function of n. Okay. So if G is a group, the set of all elements containing all the elements which are relatively prime to n, then the order of G is equal to 5. Order of G is equal to 5. Yes, we know that the set G of all positive integers relatively prime to n, form a group under multiple multiplication modulo n, under multiplication modulo n it is modulo n. This point you have to note here. The set G of all positive integers relatively prime to n form a group under multiplication modulo n. Let this group be G here, and this group has finite number of elements. This group has how many elements? Finite number of elements. Has finite number of elements. Finite number of elements means it says that order of G is equal to 5 here. Order of G is equal to 5. Now let us divide A by n. A by n. Let Q be the quotient here and R be the remainder. Let us divide A by n. Let Q in this division, let Q be the quotient and R be the remainder. Now express this in congruence modulo n relation. Yes, anybody? This division anna congruence modulo n relation alli baribeku. A is congruent to n into Q plus R, where of course R is the remainder, means it is 0 is less than or equal to R less than n. Yes, this implies that therefore A is congruent to what it is, or A is equal to Q into n, n into Q plus R. A is equal to, yes sir, n into Q plus R, where 0 is less than or equal to R less than n here. Okay. In addition to this, he has given that the A and n are relatively prime. Since A comma n are relatively prime means the greatest common divisor between A and n is equal to 1. This implies that what would be the greatest common divisor between R and n? Yes, anybody? This implies that the greatest common divisor between R and n is equal to 1. And this implies that R belongs to G. Why? Why R belongs to G? Because R and n are relatively prime. And what is your G here? G is the set of all positive integers relatively prime to n. Therefore, R and n are relatively prime means definitely this element R belongs to G. R belongs to G. And by corollary to, we have by corollary to, we have what we have, what the corollary to says. If A is an element of G, then A to the power order of G is equal to E. Okay. Yes. By corollary to, we have this. What it is? A to the power n means R to the power n is 5 here is equal to identity of G. Identity of G. What is the identity of this element G? G is what? G is the set of all positive integers relatively prime to n. What is the identity element here? No. It is 1. It is 1. Identity element of G is equal to 1 here. Since A is equal to, since A is equal to what? We have A is equal to NQ plus R. We have A is equal to NQ plus This implies that A is congruent to R modulo n. A is congruent to R modulo n. A is congruent to R modulo n. And if I take here phi n as the power phi n on both the sides, A to the power phi n is equal to R to the power phi n. Is congruent to R to the power n mod n here. Yes, what I did here? A is congruent to R modulo n by this division. A is congruent to R modulo n by congruent relation. Raising the power to phi n on both the sides. What is your A to the power phi n? A to the power phi n is congruent to R to the power phi n into mod n. But what is R to the power phi n here? It is identity element of G which is equal to 1. Yes, this implies that A to the power phi n is congruent to 1 mod n. 1 mod n because R to the power phi n is equal to 1 here. R to the power phi n is equal to 1. This is what we wanted to prove here. A to the power phi n is congruent to 1 mod n. Okay? Yes. See, once again, I would like to explain this here. See, corollary number 2, of course, it is called as Euler's theorem. This states that if n is a positive integer and A is relatively prime to n, means the greatest common divisor between A and n is equal to 1, and in symbols it is written as A comma n is equal to 1. Then I wanted to prove that A to the power phi n is congruent to 1 mod n. Of course, in order to prove this, we know one thing. What is it? The set G of all positive integers relatively prime to n form a group under multiplication modulo n, and this group has finite number of elements. So it says that order of the group is equal to number of elements present in that group. It is 5. Divide A by n. Let Q be the quotient and R be the remainder. This by division algorithm I can write it as A is equal to dividend is equal to a divisor into quotient n into Q plus the remainder. Or in terms of congruence modulo n, you can write it as A is congruent to R mod n. It is R mod n. Of course, here 0 is less than or equal to R less than n. And since A and n are relatively prime and R is less than n here, therefore R comma n is also equal to 1. This implies that R and n are relatively prime. R and n are relatively prime means R definitely belongs to G, because G is the set of all prime numbers, relatively prime numbers to n. R and n are relatively prime means definitely R belongs to G. By corollary 2, we have for every A belonging to G, A to the power phi n is A to the power n is equal to identity element of G. That is, instead of A we have R here. To the power n is phi n, the number of elements present in the group, that is the order of the group. A to the power order of G is equal to E identity element of G, which is nothing but 1. Since A is equal to n cube plus R, as we have seen here, this can be written as A is congruent to R mod n, raising the power to phi n on both the sides. A to the power phi n is equal to R to the power phi n mod n. But A to the power phi n, you write it as it is. R to the power phi n, as we see here, it is equal to 1 mod n. Hence the proof. Is it clear? Important theorem, it is Euler's theorem. And with this, I would like to go to the next theorem, which is known as Fermat's theorem. And let me call that as corollary number 4. is called as, of course, Fermat's theorem. Fermat's theorem. Yes. Let us see what is the statement of Fermat's theorem and the proof. Use of